time we'll have Director Sam, who's kind of directing this whole thing. Can we give him a hand, Director Sam? Thank you, Pastor Dan.
I'd like to welcome everybody here. A lot of you, I know, are kind of nervous, especially as most of you are aware that you will be doing speeches, but I'll guarantee you it's not that bad. Right now, let me just introduce you some of the pastors who will also be attending. You met Pastor Justin Kim and Dan. Also, Pastor Park, he will be coming also. We have about 35 volunteer adult 장로님, 권사님, 집사님s going, and they are all going to go there. They're the ones who are able to make the cost go low. They wake up at 4 in the morning, go make kimbaps, because kimbaps in DC are $6.50 per roll. So we make about 700 of them, and we also make the sandwiches and things like that. So let's give most of the 권사님s and 집사님s are not here, 장로님, but let's give them a hand. There will also be a lot of other pastors. This is really, it is a missions. It's not just an internship. Pastor Agensu from San Jose will be coming. He'll also be speaking to you guys. He's also an EM pastor. Dr. Chandler M. from the Billy Graham Center at Wheaton College. This will be his 4th year coming here, and he will also be speaking to you in addition to Pastor Justin and Pastor Dan. Okay, next please. One of the things that we do at KCC is we have you guys go there to Washington, D.C. And how this program started was in 2007. We wanted to go to Washington, D.C. and there were some very important legislations that needed to be passed. So we got some pastors who wanted to go there and go as members of Congress, but we had one problem. Our Korean American pastors don't speak English. So we said, let's get some high school students to go. So we had about 20 of them in 2007, and we went and visited. And after a couple of years went by, they said, you know what? Everybody really liked the students more than the pastors, and the members of Congress and their staff were really impressed with them. So we said, let's start to do this. And so in 2010, we started again, and we had 40 sign up. And now lately we've been getting 80 to 100 every year. And we don't advertise this, it's all spread out by word of mouth. And the blessed thing is most of the students who come, about half of them every year, come year after year after year. Like Matt over there, this is your 3rd year going, right? Or 3rd or 4th? 4th year, you're going. Give him a hand. So we have a lot of students who are doing that. And one reason why we became very effective was that all of us are very pure. In other words, we don't have any other initiative except for to help our suffering North Korean brothers and sisters, and also to see you guys, to build in your hearts the love for the people and the orphans and children in North Korea. The people we love, it's the government and what they're doing that we're against. But for the people in North Korea, you guys are to be their voice. Over the years, none of us get paid for this. We all do this as a volunteer. When you go there, there'll be pharmacists, sometimes nurses, sometimes doctors to take care of your health. There's also some people there's a federal agent who comes every year. And yes, he does have a gun, but he's legally able to do that. And everybody else are all volunteers. And so we do that every year. And also, because of that, over the years, we have President Barack Obama officially in letter endorsed us in what we're doing. In the letter, he basically says something to the effect, North Koreans should not have to leave their country just to enjoy the basic necessity of life, liberty, and happiness. And when they do leave, they should be entitled to the protection of the laws. That's what he wrote to us. But unfortunately, we just have to keep pushing them because President Obama, as you know, is very busy, especially with all the other things going on. So unless we go there and keep advocating for the rights of the voiceless people in North Korea, we're just going to get the back burner. Next, please. Also, President George Bush, he officially recognized the KCC and supported what we're doing. And so I think we're the only organization in Washington, D.C. that's involved in North Korea human rights that have the support of both a Democrat and a Republican. Because we're not Republican, we're not Democrat, that's not what we're about. We just care about the people in North Korea. Next. And as a result, there were several legislations that we were able to successfully pass. And North Korean Orphan Adoption Act. I know many of you here had helped that. What that did was it compelled the State Department to make a plan for the quick admission of North Korean orphans living in China and other parts of the world for quick admission into the U.S. to waiting families who want to adopt them. It passed in 2013. We were instrumental in that, and also along with a lot of the other groups that helped us too. Next. The North Korea Sanctions Enforcement Act, which will help North Korea if they will just improve their human rights, close the prisons, and allow religious freedom. That passed last year too. Next. And what we do when we go to Washington, D.C., we hold many events. The events are, every event starts as a prayer. Every event we speak out. Every event we have students. You guys are the main event. Okay, you guys, the pastors play the background. They stay there and they support you guys. But for example, we're in front of the White House, and a lot of you will be involved in the main event, and a lot of you will be writing speeches. And right before the main event, you will be reading your speeches. A lot of times, I have people say, I'm not going to go if I have to speak. But when they go there, everybody wants to speak. It's one of those things where you will not become nervous, and you will just become, you will write your speeches ahead of time. And Sophia will go over that later. You will write your speeches ahead of time, and we will record them, and they will all be, you will be able to see them on YouTube. You will also be marching down Pennsylvania Avenue. What is Pennsylvania Avenue? Pennsylvania Avenue is the street address for the White House. So we actually have a permit to walk right in front, and a lot of you will have the opportunity at the main event to say a few words regarding the North Korea human rights issue. And also remember, you're here to be the voice for the voiceless, and that is your suffering North Korean brothers, sisters. And earlier, I told you about the speeches, but when you write the speeches, and we ask you to memorize it at first, it's because you will know these key words. Why are you here? I'm here to be the voice for the voice. Why are you here? I'm here to be their voice. What is it really? I want my North Korean human rights brothers and sisters to enjoy the basics. I mean, those are things that you will be learning. Next. The next day, we will go to the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol. We have a permit for this, and the only way you can rent a U.S. Capitol here is it costs nothing. But there is a price, is you have to have members of Congress who will attend, who have to sponsor you. And so we have a 40-foot stage, 2 feet high, that we will erect. And you will come here and you will have a lot of opportunity to do a lot of different things. A lot of you will be introducing members of Congress. And you will be able to make, a lot of you will also be involved in making statements.
And all of us are gathered here today from every major city in the United States to speak on behalf of the voiceless. Hi, my name is Daniel Kim, and I'm from McLean, Virginia. I'm here not as a Democrat or Republican, but as a Christian American with a common goal to speak out on behalf of the voiceless, our suffering North Korean brothers, sisters, and orphans.
Hi, my name is Sally Huang, and I am here to be the voice for the voiceless 20,000 North Korean orphans in China who have no voice of their own. These are my blood-related brothers and sisters, and I think my Congressman Rob would also be their voice too.
My name is Matthew Lee from Elizabeth, California, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the 250,000 political prisoners in North Korea who have no voice of their own. I will share this with my Congressman Dana Rohrabacher when I meet him at his office later today.
Yes, so this is through the main event, and many of you will have opportunity to do this at here. Also, Korean Central Presbyterian Church, which is about a 2,000 seat. We will be there too, and you'll have an opportunity to do this there too, and also at in front of the White House too. And
my name is April Lim, and I'm from Queens, New York, and I'm here to shout on behalf of the estimated 300,000.
At this time,
and you will make mistakes.
With the introducing of the senator.
He's a congressman.
Congressman, sorry.
And it's okay to be nervous.
Congressman Joe Pitts represents Pennsylvania's 16th Congressional District. After graduating from Asbury College, Congressman Pitts joined the United States Air Force. During his time with the force, he completed over 116 combat missions in the Vietnam War.
Many of you will have the opportunity to do this, but you know what? Make mistakes. It's okay. Because one of the things that some people said was, hey, they won't take you seriously if you do that. But the staffers actually and the members of Congress actually told me, you know, we're so used to seeing professional lobbyists that come here and demand things, but when they see the innocence of you guys, when they look into your eyes and make mistakes and things like that, they see how pure you are. And you're there just because you want to speak out for the North Korean orphans and kids and the people. That's why you guys are needed. That's why you're effective. And you're more effective than any professional lobbyists that are out there. Just be yourself. And you know what? Once you have an opportunity to represent a member of Congressman, Joe Pitts is from Pennsylvania. He's a chairman of a lot of the organizations. That's it. I mean, speaking anywhere should be a piece of cake. Next.
There's a chapter in the Bible.
Members of Congress will join us.
It talks about,
and they're Christian congressmen, and they actually give us sermons on the mount, on the hill.
At the end, around verse 28, it says, "Of whom the world was not worthy." These are heroes. These are people of whom the world is not worthy, who are going through this terrible suffering and oppression in North Korea. And so, in the 9th book of Acts, Saul of Tarsus heard a voice that said, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" And it was the same voice who had said to the apostles, "He who hears you hears me." And it's the same voice that said, "I was hungry and you did not feed me. I was thirsty and you did not give me a drink." Christ identifies with every believer, and especially with those who are poor. When one Christian is persecuted, Christ himself is persecuted.
And what we also try to do is, at the West Lawn, we also have a t-shirt offering ceremony where some of you will be giving t-shirts. So like 7th graders who are going, any 7th graders here who are going to be a 7th grade? Okay, we usually have about 5, and we have about 5 elementary students too who come with their parents. We usually get them to offer them t-shirts afterwards too. And after, the person earlier who was speaking is Yuzama from Phoenix, Arizona. You saw how nervous he was? Well, that was because he was in front of a congressman. He was just nervous. And also you have to understand at that time, we normally start at 12 o'clock, so we weren't ready, but Congressman Pitts came and said, "I have to go to a hearing real fast. Can we start early?" So we got everybody upstairs last year, and so that was why he was nervous, but he's a great speaker, as we'll see later. Now, Anna, next.
Chairman Ed Voice is the
Anna,
U.S. representative for California's 39th Congressional District and the chairman of the Committee of Foreign Affairs. He was a business owner and corporate tax manager for a Portland cement company in Orange County, a California state senator in 1983, serving in that post until his election to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1992. The author of H.R. 1771 and H.R. 757, the North Korean Sanctions Enforcement Act of 2015, Chairman Royce has been at the forefront of North Korean human rights for the past decade. Chairman Royce has been a valuable ally and friend to our blood-related brothers and sisters in North Korea, and we look forward to the day when North Korea tastes freedom. I am honored to bring to the stage Chairman Royce.
Let's give it for Anna. Now, a lot of you will have an opportunity to do that, and every time a congressman comes up or somebody comes up, we have one of you introduce them too. So we try to make it where through the offering of the t-shirts, through the introducing to the speeches, where we try to get as many of you to try to get you on stage to be a part of the main role as possible. And also, we will have Congressman came, like Chairman Royce, he's the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee last year. He couldn't come because he had an important engagement. He had a luncheon with the Prime Minister. So his staffer came and we actually waited about an hour for him at the West Lawn, but he still wanted to come and see you guys. And so he gave us a speech on Capitol Hill.
We can't turn a blind eye to what's happening to human beings in North Korea. Thank you so much for being the
And we'll also get refugees to come. We want to share the refugee stories with the members of Congress.
It's a great honor meeting you.
Joseph Kim came last year.
You had a bit of a trouble getting in here, and I know how busy you are. And I think it's really difficult to find politicians that have standing and passion, but also compassion for the issue, despite the difficulties that you might challenge of supporting this issue. But I really wanted to thank you on behalf of North Korean people, not just to be here, present in front of so many young students. You are inspiring, and I really want to thank you for your genuine support. And I would like to take this opportunity to share my story, but also story of millions of other North Korean people today in North Korea. Again, thanks so much for your support, and please don't give up on us. Thanks so much.
We won't give up on you. And frankly, my life has been a pretty privileged life, and I suspect in America many people have enjoyed the same advantages I've enjoyed. Growing up with parents, and having the opportunity to make my own choices. For you growing up as an orphan, for you losing your parents through starvation, and for going through all the travails that you persevered through. And then, you know, from coming from starvation to salvation, I just wanted to say it is a greater honor for me to accept this book from you. And so thank you very much for the role you're playing in awakening the conscience of the world.
Hi, Congressman Royce. My name is Julie, and this is Ashley, and we're from Boynton and Butterfly and Sunny Hills. And I just wanted to thank you for all that you've done for us. We'd like to
present with
you
t-shirts.
this shirt for everything you've done for all these years, and thank you for all that you've done. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get in there, okay? Everybody? So, I mean, just think about it. When you guys go up there, and you guys do this to a congressman, do you think he'll remember the North Korean human rights issue? Come on, what do you think? All right, and that's one of the things that when we go there, we have to yell, we have to cheer, because when they come up, let's practice here. Do you think that they will remember you guys? Yeah. Do you think that they will remember your suffering North Korean brothers, sisters, and orphans? Yeah. All right. Okay. And then also next time we're gonna do that same thing and also clap too. Okay. So yeah, that's what all the events are geared towards. Is we go there, we meet with members of Congress, we have a lot of you guys talk to them, and then we also have you guys presented with T-shirts. They see the purity and the innocence of you guys. And also the North Korean refugees who go, this year we have Jisungho, they will present their stories about how they were lost, they were eating grass and tree barks to survive, they lost their parents, and they'll remember you. They'll remember North Korean issue, and that's what this is all about. And also, you know, all this is possible because, not because of you guys or anybody, no matter how much we prepare, if God does not open the doors for you, we cannot do this. We don't lobby, we don't do anything. Only thing that we did was have you guys pray for this, have you guys do the work, and God used you guys to move mountains. All right, next. Next, we will be going to visiting with members of Congress. You will actually have folders similar to the ones in there with all the important information that we want to get across regarding the North Korea human rights issue. And here we went to the Senate, and Joshua Stanton, who helped write a lot of the bills, basically said, you know, when you guys are out here every summer, when you guys are walking through Congress, and you have t-shirts that says, Voice for Freedom, speak on behalf of my suffering brothers, North Korean brothers and sisters. They say, what are these guys here? What are they doing? And they know that we're on the hill. And you guys are more effective than you can ever imagine. Next. Last year we had a meeting with the chairman of the Senate because we needed something passed. So we want to make an impression. All of us went there. All of us went into the meeting room. All of us expressed our concern, and the bill passed. The bill passed. All right, guys. Next. And you guys actually will be the ones. Sometimes you can only meet with staffers, and you will actually present it with them. And we go in there, leave a folder for the members and all. Next. And you will all take turns.
KCC, and I'm just going to read Church Coalition, and we stand for human rights for North Koreans, both people inside the country and refugees and orphans who are outside the country as well.
I'm trying to use that for human rights movements in North Korea for taking care of orphans, for example, China.
And then I'm sure you've heard about the last time.
See how they're going around, different people saying different things, everybody trying to jump in at it?
They were repatriated from Laos back to North Korea, which is the first thing they did in this case. So we don't know if they're alive or dead right now. So they
Sometimes you will be meeting them in the hallway because there's too many of us. You'll be divided into 8 different groups, and you present your case in the hallway. Next.
We're passing the baton. You know what it is in a relay race? You carry the baton. My generation is passing the baton to your generation. So we expect you all to grow up to be honest, ethical, decent, moral, tough, and faithful. If you do that, then this world will be in good shape. If you don't do that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we will always be. Thank you.
Thank you for going to the West Lawn to the Congress.
Thank you. Why don't you guys get ready and run for Congress? Well, thank you. Who's going to run for Congress?
They all are.
Okay,
For presidency.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next, we have a video that summarizes everything here. But you know, you basically saw some of the things that we do there. But you know, this is not just human rights. It's not just legislation. But it's more of your duty as a Christian. You know, Jesus told us, Jesus told us to go to the darkest places of the world. Go make disciples of all nations. Baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. North Korea is the darkest places, and we can't go in there. A lot of Christian missionaries go in there, but they can't do anything in there. They can't really profess the Bible. You guys have an opportunity here to go to Washington, D.C. You guys have an opportunity to reach your members of Congress. And what you do in D.C. will have everlasting lives for the suffering North Korean brothers, sisters, and orphans who are living in China and in North Korea. And we live in the only country in the world that actually has the power to do all that. And you guys, as Congressman Wolf said, are the answer. You guys, how this program first started was, back in 2007, we were going to go to DC, and we had a whole group of pastors. You saw Hakimi Mosanim, who's a retired pastor from Yamuna Presbyterian Church, LA. Iwansan Mosanim, who's from Korean Central. I mean, all of these are members who are part of our staff. They're actually Isanim trustees, and they help us. They don't speak English. Most of them don't speak English. So we needed to get some high school and college students to go out and speak for them. They wanted to follow, but they wanted you to speak. And you know what? Miracle happened. First generation, second generation, working together was the first, second generation taking the lead. That's what it is. And on top of that, the prayers of the first generation and the prayers that you'll be doing there, you're doing it together with God on your side, who is guiding you. Amen. That is, so you're not alone. Every year we have another mentor pastor coming. This year, Dr. Chandler M., who is an EM pastor, but now he works full-time for the Billy Graham Center at Wheaton College. He came every year, and he's coming again. And he really gets excited when he sees you guys go out there and sees a difference. And he's one of the persons who will also be, in addition to Pastor Dan, Richard, to speaking to you and be giving you sermons. Every morning we'll start off with prayer. Every morning you'll have a sermon. Every evening we end this prayer, praise, sermon. But this year also, we'll have a couple other things planned. You'll be going to Arlington National Cemetery. Your groups of 9 will be going there to different places where a lot of the fallen Korean War veterans are. And you'll be praying for our country. You'll be praying for Korea. You'll be praying for North Korea. You'll be praying for unity. You'll also be going to the Korean War Memorial, where you'll also be doing that same thing too. And also those are a couple areas where you'll also have an opportunity to do some speeches too.